In my previous video, I talked about why structural correction isn't the solution to improving chronic pain conditions, and also shared my perspective and an insight on the role of the nervous system retraining and the movement retraining on improving those conditions. So if you haven't watched that video, and please be sure to watch it first. And in the last week and the previous week's videos, and I did show you a specific nervous system and the movement retraining lessons. And today, another nervous system and movement retraining lesson around a specific functional context, which is about turning, right? How often do we turn? We turn a lot, right? I mean, that's a very functional movement we use and multiple times throughout the day. So let's talk about that and let's actually practice that. And you can do this one sitting or standing, your choice. And what I'm going to be showing you while you're sitting in a chair. So you can grab a chair, and if you decide to do it in a chair, and sit on the front of the chair, not leaning against the backrest, and so you have a freedom of the movements. That's important as you are practicing the movement. You want to be able to move easily, right? So go ahead and come to the front of the chair and have your feet contact in the ground, not one leg crossed or like that. Okay, so just have your feet firmly grounding, and then sit in a neutral posture, but don't make yourself so rigid. Just to be as comfortable, relaxed as possible. Maybe for some of you, sitting is not the most comfortable position, so you can try standing up if that's easy for you. And from this sitting position, so we're going to observe how we turn our head first. So if you were to turn your head to the right side to look behind your right, look over the right shoulder, and how do you do that? And you can first observe. You can just begin to turn your head, and you're not checking how flexible your neck is. You're just checking to see, just to pretend you wanted to look behind your right, over the right shoulder. Then how do you do that? And go ahead and begin to turn your head slowly, and then bring your head back. Turn your head to the right and coming back here. For many people, habitually, they turn the head, and then mostly the movement is coming from the neck, right? So maybe that's their habitual patterns. But since we are retraining the nervous system through the movement retraining, we're going to explore a different ways of moving. And by doing that and creating a new pathways in the nervous system, right? So you can just visualize that the neck is, well, you can see the neck, but the neck is part of the whole spine. And so the neck extends down into your thoracic spine, right? Which is around your chest. And then it extends further down into your lumbar spine, your low back, and then connecting to your pelvis. And then you have your legs. But they are all connected, right? So let's just connect and find a different way of moving. And so you can think about turning from your thoracic spine. So the thoracic spine is now become, well, it is already a part of your neck, but just now you can pretend that you can visualize that movement is now from the thoracic spine around the function of the turning, right? Turning your head to the right and coming back. But by visualizing the movement, it's actually taking place from your thoracic spine. So the chest is now turning. So the movement is directly connected to the neck and then connected to the function of turning. Okay, so that's a different way of movement. But the spine doesn't end here. Spine continues down to the lower back and the pelvis, right? So with your attention to your lumbar spine and the pelvis, now you begin to turn your pelvis, but that the whole spine, right, and the pelvis is now involved. So now you're changing the way you do the movements, the functional movement, specifically turning. So that the turning could be done in a very different way now, right? So now from the pelvis, lumbar, thoracic, and the neck that is connected to the head. So that's all involved in a turning and coming back. And that's a very different experience, right? And compared to maybe how you move and habitually, how you turn habitually, maybe that's mostly from your neck, and that's different. So you can compare and contrast the experience in your body. So if you now pretend neck ends right here, and that the turning could only take place from your neck. So don't allow the rest of the spine and the hips and the pelvis to move, and to move from your neck, which is one way of moving. But if that's the only way that you are moving, then now you can find another way to move. You can include your spine, all the spine, including your hips. The hips and the pelvis is part of the spine. And now could do the turning. That's very different. Then you can practice going the other way too. So now what you just did is you retrained and you created a different patterns, right? And how is it the movement training and changing and retraining the nervous system? Well, because you change the way you move, in order for you to find a different way of moving, you have to create a different pathway in your nervous system, right? There is no movements, there's no body movements without involving your brain. So there are always, right, that involves the movement, involves the brain and the nervous system. That is different from this. So practice that. And since this is about the functional movement pattern, which means that you do use these movements many times throughout your day. You have plenty of opportunities to integrate the new patterns, right? So you can use this one side, going the other side, not a stretching exercise, not a range of motion exercise, but this is the exercise, or this is the movement lesson that is specifically designed to retrain your nervous system, to create a different pathways or the new pathways in your brain, in your nervous system, right? By exploring and finding a different ways of moving. And how do you feel right now? How does your body feel right now after having experience in a different ways of the movement and turning today? You feel a little bit differently, you feel a little bit lighter, and let me know in the comment below. And your experience, what did you sense? How are you feeling right now? And any questions, let me know. And well, that's it for today's lesson. And if you missed the last week's lesson, please be sure to watch the last week's lessons as well. And if you're new to my channel, if you like this video, and please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel, please. And don't forget to hit the bell notification button so that you won't miss my videos, the future videos. So thank you very much for watching my video, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye. I want to let you know that you can join my free masterclass, Path to Comfort, Confidence, and Authenticity in Your Body. And this is an overview of my comprehensive movement course called Understanding How Your Body Moves Method. If you want to submit your application to this course, and you can do so in the masterclass. So I hope to see you inside the masterclass.